Hey y'all. So for today's episode, I'm actually sharing a coaching call from a coaching call with my new pal, Stephanie Lindemood, several months back, just now getting it up on the podcast, hashtag life. But what I really want you to listen in on for this coaching call, is I want you to listen in and hear about the importance of having a strategy, an overarching strategy for your website and your SEO, as well as the nitty gritty little details that make that happen. And then if you listen real close, you're going to get some tips on how to apply your keywords that you find in your keyword research to really capitalize on each page of your website getting found. And really, y'all, as I listened back to this coaching call and edited it and just prepared this podcast for y'all, I was like, oh, that's awesome. That's going to help so many people. Such a great little golden nugget to share with y'all. And I'm excited to be able to share this with y'all. And so be prepared to take notes, listen in, and learn and see how you can apply some of these principles to your business, your website, to start getting more traffic and more business from your website. And if you're listening into this and you're like, oh my gosh, I need this strategy, I need to know my keywords and the exact right keywords to get me found, then don't hesitate to book a coaching call stat. If y'all haven't been hanging out with me recently, then maybe you don't know that prices on 1-hour coaching calls are going up quite a bit starting the beginning of October as I prepare for maternity leave. And really, supply and demand is a thing in business, y'all. So make sure if you're sitting on the fence about a coaching call that you get that booked stat and just listen in to Stephanie's coaching call. And you know what? I bet you there's some nuggets that you can pull for your own business. Hey there, fellow entrepreneur. Welcome to Simple SEO and Marketing with me, Faith Hannon. Do you want to grow your business with organic marketing and finally feel like you can understand SEO? Are you scouring the internet for how to get more website traffic, SEO for dummies, and how to market on Pinterest? Have you tried to grow your business with SEO and blogging only to get frustrated and quit because it's overwhelming and too time consuming? Been there. Hey, I'm Faith Hannon, Jesus lover, copywriter, blogger, wife, wrangler of tiny humans, and barrel racer. And let me tell you, I didn't have time to waste sorting through SEO and keyword strategies that either didn't work or were so over my head I couldn't understand them. I honestly thought that SEO and blogging only worked for people with a PhD in tech jargon and a whole team of employees, until I learned these secrets. Good SEO strategies don't have to be complicated, and creating and marketing great content doesn't have to take more than a couple hours a week total. So pop in those earbuds, slam some coffee, and let's grow your business with simple organic marketing and a healthy dose of biblical encouragement along the way. All right, Stephanie, so talk to me a little bit about what you've got going on already, just kind of where you're at in your website and your SEO, and really honing in on getting traffic. And we'll just jump right in.
I have some good stuff going, but I don't feel like I have a holistic strategy. And so, and I kind of, I hired some random guy off Upwork to help me with some stuff originally for I think it was page indexing, maybe for Google Analytics. Okay. And that's when he did this random, if I send you the link via my phone, it'll pop up best #1 cabins, blah, blah, and parentheses. And I'm thinking, I don't even know if that's working or if that's legit. But, and then I had another guy that I hired through Upwork to help me go through Google Analytics, understand it better. And then he showed me one of the SEO search tools, and we kind of went through that a little bit. That's when I realized I needed help, because I was like, I listened to one of your podcast episodes with that girl that, she was talking about taking your course.
Oh, yeah.
So that's, and so, yes, Leslie. And so, so anyways, I was like, yeah, this is over my head. So that I have a girl writing stuff for me, and she does a really good job. I feel like SEO wise, she'll get to all in Yoast and we have all that, but I'm not directing her on, I need to rank for X, Y, or Z. And I basically feel like anytime anyone runs stuff for me, they just say, what do you want to rank for? Well, that's going to be really hard because you have all these other competitors.
So you just need some more holistic strategy to kind of put the pieces together. Because it sounds like you have some good things in place.
I mean, I feel like we do. I mean, we're a little nichey in the fact that we're kind of like trying to be the sandals of this area, where our stuff is currently no pets, no kids. We're about to open up one as a pet friendly for like little dogs. But yeah, so our whole niche is like vacation getaways, romantic, 2 people, no kids, adults only, that kind of thing. And so that's kind of what we're trying to target.
Okay.
I think the marketing is working. So,
yeah. Well, they're gorgeous.
Thank you.
They look gorgeous. And your pictures are, I mean, there's a lot of really great things in place that you've done really well. You know, like a lot of these places, I'm like, I'm sure they're beautiful, but the pictures are horrible.
Right. Well, I'm a listing agent by trade. So I've listed over like 450 homes in real estate. So I know it's all about exposure, pricing, and condition, right? So the condition's good and the price is good, but nobody knows about you. It doesn't really matter. And that's what I want to work on, is just how do I continue exposing the properties on our end to where it just grows?
Okay, so I actually want to take a second and dig into your Search Console data, since you are ahead of the game and already have that set up, which is amazing, BT dubs. Okay, so top queries. So this we're in the search results over here. And so I'm looking at, we've got these top queries, impressions, and versus clicks. So this is a fun little hack I've been playing with, Stephanie, is if you have an impression for something, you can pretty well assume that you're showing up on the first page, because nobody clicks to the second page of anything.
Agreed. Right? Yep.
And so what you want to do is you want to look through and you see, okay, how many of these I'm showing up for that I actually want to show up for? Right. Well, obviously Broken Bow Cabins we want to show up for. Right. So how do we capitalize on this, that you're showing up, but you're not getting very many clicks? Right. So then we want to think about the pages that are really focused on that.
Yeah, our fishing blog post is like the most popular one. It's crazy.
So I would write more fishing blog posts, like fishing for every kind of popular fish in the area. Okay. You know, Broken Bow fishing for whatever. I don't know. I grew up in Colorado. I fish for trout.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't fish, but yeah, I hear you.
You know, Broken Bow Lake. So you're getting a ton of impressions for that too, right?
Right.
But not very many clicks. Okay. And then because this one, you're getting really Broken Bow Cabin Life. That's
website. Our brand.
So you're getting that.
Right.
Broken Bow Fishing, percentage wise, is doing way better.
Right.
Things to do in Broken Bow. Okay. And this Broken Bow Cabin Rentals, like, you're getting impressions, but poop clicks.
Okay.
Because what I want to do is, let's look at these. I'm going to write these down with my handy dandy marker. Because I'm just going to go through and let's look at some ones we actually really want to capitalize on.
Yep. Yeah, because with all due respect, like the fishing, if it's not raining in honeymooners, that wouldn't be something I would normally go towards, but.
I mean, yeah, that's something to think about, I guess. I mean, do you get many anniversary couples or just
honey? Oh yeah. No. Like we market the whole, it's honeymoons, anniversaries, and or just romantic getaways.
Okay.
Yep. I'm surprised there wasn't more cabin searches, like vacation rentals and
well, this is just your search results. This is just what you're showing up for.
I see. Okay.
This isn't like
okay. Yeah. I got it.
We'll dig into Uber Suggest in just a second.
Perfect.
I just want to know, because I want to capitalize on what you're already getting impressions for.
Yep.
Because a lot of people, they don't have any of this data yet. So I don't have anything to pull from.
Gotcha. You don't know what you don't know. You got to wait. You got to do it in a way. Yeah. And that's one of the things we haven't done with the Girl That Writes My Blog posts, is have an updated report done, because we wanted to give enough time for the blog to kind of season. And then what is your goal? Like when you look at clicks versus impressions, do you have a ratio that you're shooting for? Or because I'm like, I can check this now and I can start recording it to where I can start comparing. Is that all you want me to do? Or are you like, hey, for every impression, you should have half the amount of clicks? Or do you have?
It just depends on the business.
Okay.
I mean, ideally you'd love, you know.
So just start tracking it to be aware of like, hey, what are you generally running with on a monthly to quarterly basis?
Well, if you're appearing on the first page, like genuinely appearing on the first page of Google search results, like it's real. I mean, even getting 30% of the clicks of the impressions would be phenomenal. So Uber Suggest, what you'll do when you can set Uber Suggest up. I mean, like it's not rocket science for you to do it. You just connect your Google Analytics number after you have your own account and you give it permission to talk to Google, and then it's going to pull data from Google. And some of it's stuff you can already see on Analytics and Search Console. It just puts it into a little bit more usable form.
No, I love that. Google's hard to me. For me, it's not as intuitive as I wish it was.
It's not intuitive for anybody except the little pocket protector nerds that built it. And maybe not even them. I don't know. So you can see how much organic traffic per day, per week, per month. So it'll show you like your on-page SEO score. You can load competitors in here.
Okay.
So that what it'll do is it'll look at keyword gaps. It'll say, oh, they're a list of keywords that your competition ranks for, but your website doesn't.
And that would be essentially a lot of the property management sites.
And because you are like niche and in a specific location, you know exactly who those people are. You know, you're not just guessing and hoping that people are your competition. So you can get everything set up. It can be a deep dark hole. You don't need to make it a deep dark hole. You can go as simple or as, you know, in depth with Uber Suggest as you would like. But then I live in the keyword ideas section. So what you do in the keyword ideas section that I love, you can compare 3 keywords at the same time.
And you're doing the keyword comparison to see what? The search volume?
To see the search volume.
Okay.
Because, and here's where the art part of keyword research and SEO comes in. We're probably going to see different data between Search Console and Uber Suggest.
Got it.
Sometimes Uber Suggest says there's no searches for this, but we've looked at your Search Console and we already know you're appearing for that thing, right?
Right.
And so it's an art and a science, and it's a little bit of a.
No, I hear you. A lot of the tools, you're never going to get the exact same thing.
Right.
It's just part of it.
Yeah. Do you have your Google Business profile set up?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm being totally honest.
Okay. I want you to get it set up if you don't. And then I want you to make sure that your blog posts are getting shared to it and you are uploading content to your Google Business profile every other week at least.
So set up the Google Business profile. You said send the blog post there?
Yep. You're just repurposing your blog post like a post on Google Business profile.
Just copy and paste or create an article, or I've never, obviously never been on it before.
And what you can do is you could even break it down like you break down social media posts. And say like, here's a 1 point from day 1. Here's a 2nd point, day 2, because Google Business Profile, it's like a whole nother game to play in.
It's another platform
and nobody knows about.
Does that then help you rank on, Google, because it's all the same? So set up the business profile, send the blog post, essentially just
repurpose your blog
post. And then what was the third one? Every other week?
Yep, at least every other week. And you need to use pictures.
Every other week do what? There was something after the blog post.
Share your blog post, because you're doing a blog post every other week. So share that, make sure you're sharing that content.
Oh, okay,
perfect. You're sharing it with the picture, but you're just that's one more place to repurpose. And then make sure that some of these main keywords are in your Google Business description and name. And I have a podcast a ways back with a gal that she was a coaching client but she's like really good at Google Business Profile, and I don't know a ton yet. And I was like, come on a podcast and teach.
So is Google Business, if you have Google Analytics, do you have a Google Business set up, or is it totally different?
Separate, just like Search Console is separate.
I think I've set it up, but it may have been for another domain. So I'll have to dig in and see. Yeah, and I have pictures in my blog post. So basically set it up and then share the blog post every other week. And I didn't miss anything, right? That was what you said?
And because you're blogging every other week, you could take that one blog post and like break it up to be shared between 2 weeks. Like.
Is it more like a social media post versus a article I'm sharing, like on LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Okay. It's more like a caption, like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Is it evergreen to where people can go back and reference it?
I think so.
Or is it more like a feed where it's like, just shows the most recent kind of, does that make sense?
Yeah. I don't know that I can answer that.
Okay.
Intelligently. Because honestly, it's something I'm still playing with. Like I just got my own account verified because I was like, I'm not a location-based business. That would really help you, I think, even though it's a little bit of a weird new thing. And the podcast that I have on that, like the gal that I emailed her, like I've been going back and forth asking her questions. I'm like, I don't know. Tell me, Sydney. She's super helpful about that. Okay. I'll tell you everything I know, but it's not a ton, but I do know that.
I hear you.
I'm just writing some new keywords, some new main keywords for you that I want you to try to integrate into like your Google Business Profile. And then we'll work those into your page titles. All right, y'all. And we're going to dive on into Stephanie's keyword research. And here is a snippet of that portion of her coaching call. This page has 2 H1s, which is no way no.
Okay.
Ideally, we would like your H1 to match whatever we decide your page title is going to be. So that Google says, hey, the page title says this and the H1 says this. This website must really, really, really be about this thing.
Got it.
This is interesting. Romantic cabins in Broken Bow, 0 searches per month.
That's not for everything I'm marketing and nobody's searching for.
Yeah, and that's what no. People are saying that, right? They're just not searching that. And they can identify with that, like that makes sense to them.
Right.
So, use that in some of your verbiage, use that in some of your graphics, because people are like, oh yeah, that's what I want.
It frees us up on some of this heading stuff to not promote that as much. It's
just wasted. Yeah, 0. Best romantic vacation cabins, 0. Romantic cabins in Broken Bow, 0. Romantic cabins in Oklahoma, 0.
Does that surprise you?
It does.
It surprises me too.
It does, because that's not what I was expecting. Which literally every time I do keyword research. Oh wait, I was gonna add. So I'm gonna add all these to your spreadsheet. So if in 6 months you're like, hey, I bet you I could do that, then you'll be like, no.
Right.
Just for that.
Just so interesting. But they search for a hot tub.
Which is so weird to me. I've never been a hot tub person, so maybe that's why.
Like in our Airbnb description, back before they changed the algorithm last summer, I always had it in the title of the cabin, because that's such a big deal for people on search that. And I'm like thinking, but every cabin has one. But when I used to sell new homes, I would, demonstrate the models, and I would tell people, well, this model is full brick. It's got full sprinklers, full gutters. Well, yeah, everybody in the city had to have the same thing. But because I pointed it out, we got credit for it. And if builder X down the street didn't, then the customers didn't necessarily give them credit for it. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like once you understand search, like how search things work, it like opens up a whole new ballgame on so many things. Like,
this is excellent, because my brain is I'm very good at getting in the weeds on stuff. And it's very hard for me to have a vision, strategy, kind of big picture look at things. And so I'll dig into, why getting the green button on Yoast, and then you're so far into what you're trying to say that it's not about what you're trying to say, it's what people are searching for.
Right.
But when I start doing this, if I've already got Yoast synchronized for like a page, for example, it'll break everything on Yoast from the standpoint of I'll have to figure out new copy, right?
For
the page.
Oh, because you have Yoast for the page, for the individual pages?
Yeah, like I've optimized it in Yoast for the pages from the standpoint of you said this keyword enough times, or readability, or you need transition words. And
okay, so I've never used Yoast except for blogs, so I didn't know that they worked for like on page.
Maybe it won't matter. Maybe I didn't have to optimize my pages then.
Maybe you did.
I didn't worry about it. Okay. There's a way you can optimize pages on Yoast, but what you're thinking is I should be able to just go into the backend WordPress and change the titles, change the meta description within the page, and that's it. Not change a lot of copy within the page. Like, do I need to have a ton of copy backing up the meta description?
Ideally, you would have ideally where you had romantic cabin stuff, right? You're going to nix that and say Broken Bow Cabin Rental in your H1 text. Like, still talk about it being a romantic getaway and a honeymoon getaway and a couple's getaway, but you shouldn't have to redo your whole website.
Okay. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
And if I do, that's fine. I just want to be prepared for it mentally.
I mean, you can, and I can help you with that. But if you're just like, let's just do a little bit, that's okay too.
You would start with the page title and the meta description.
And then your H1 text if you want to dig in that. Yeah.
An H1 text has to be somewhere in the page as fair enough. Okay. Yeah,
ideally, you would, in a perfect world, your H1 text
in the first section.
Yep. Sometimes I can get away with that not being the thing. What happens? Okay.
That helps. Oh, in worst case, I add a section and just delete something out. But I don't have to redo like every piece. Okay.
No, you shouldn't have to.
Cool.
Okay, so you never want a duplicate page title.
Okay.
You don't ever want to have the same across any other page, across multiple pages. You can totally finagle things to be like, oh, this keyword is here, and this keyword A and keyword B are here, and then keyword A and keyword C are here. Just as long as it's not the exact same.
So when you do the horizontal or the vertical line, that whole thing's considered.
It's going to pull for this keyword.
Okay.
And then it's going to pull for this keyword.
So if you do Broken Bow Cabins for rent for the next page, line, romantic getaways, that's considered a different setup than.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. So from there, we went on to write the rest of her page titles and really get her squared away with a great SEO strategy and keywords. And she actually went on to book another coaching call later for some more clarity and ask some more questions. So as always, I'm excited and thankful that y'all listened to this episode, and I pray that you are able to glean some information to apply to your business and your website, because ain't nobody got time to be pointing at the air for every lead in your whole life. And if y'all are on the fence about booking that coaching call, make sure, get off the fence. All that sitting on the fence does is give you a wedgie and get that coaching call booked before prices go up October 1st and before I go on maternity leave and I'm obviously not taking calls while I'm holding a newborn baby. We'll talk with y'all next episode. Thank you so much for listening in today. Hopefully this episode gave you some really tangible tips for better SEO and marketing to get more leads and more sales from your website. If it did, can I ask you a quick favor? Would you please share this episode with a friend and then just take 10 seconds and go leave a written review on Apple Podcasts. That is the very best way to help more Jesus-loving entrepreneurs scale their businesses so that they can help more people with their gifts and make an even bigger impact for the kingdom of God. And guess what? We now have a Facebook community where we can learn, hang out, and laugh. Go join the Facebook group now. It's linked in the show notes. And all the other things, courses, coaching, and copywriting can be found at my website, faithhannon.com. Until next time, God bless, and I'll talk to you soon.